The following is a presentation of TFNN. Before 9 with John Logan. 9 minutes on the stock markets before 9 a.m. every trading day. Call now, toll free, 877-927-6648 or internationally, 727-445-1044. Now, John Logan.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining me this morning. A little newer format here this morning. 9 before 9, we're going to try to cover quite a bit in 9 minutes. Not going to be a full hour like we used to do. Thanks for being here. So to get right into it, looking at the S&Ps, let's just kind of take a look at the profiles here. Big weekly close last week below this 2341. I'm looking for a retracement back up into that area, even though we've got our breadth negative across the board pretty much this morning. A lot of unfair highs converted over to middle ground. So we're going to take a look at 2341. It's the huge number that needs to be paid attention to on the S&Ps. Here's the daily, just to give you a look at another time frame down from the weekly, but I'm focusing pretty much on that 2341 and taking a look at the breadth calculations on the daily and the weekly. These are going to change a little bit based on some of the stocks opening this morning. But keep your eye on this. If this stays negative, we get up to 2341. I'm looking for a little bit of a retracement there. That's going to be the area to look at from the short side. Kind of blaming some of this on geopolitical disturbances, but I don't think that's going to play a huge role in things right now. One of the things I wanted to look at this morning in particular was in the scanner, a couple of stock picks, just to go into our opportunity matrix here. Get rid of those ribbon controls. I wanted to look at, and actually I was going to block out the short side for a little bit here and try to figure out some stocks that are hanging in there quite well. I wanted to look at HPQ. There it is, right there. It's pretty, powerful breakout last week. Here's the weekly, here's the daily, and that daily, I like how it retraced back and just bounced up last Friday. This is Friday's information on the daily here. So this one, again, you're looking for a stock that broke out and also kind of retraced back to some type of support there. Decent little trade there. Chipotle Mexican Grill, another good stock that is amazingly breaking out. But I wanted to take a look at a couple other ones here that are of note. Let's go down to something I found on the manual sorts here. What I did was I wanted to find things that were trading above and coming back into kind of Custer's last stance on support here, stocks that have been strong. Waste management, a nice little situation here in my opinion. You've got a profile that's appearing below price action on a long-term weekly, just something to keep a heads up on. And on the daily, we kind of retrace back into some area of support here on that waste management trade. CERN also, a little bit better situation. Here's the weekly. Again, pulling back a little bit last week, but just coming back into an area where I think you could base some trades around, put some stops accordingly below that 58.57 area. You're going to take a look at a couple other usual suspects here. We're going to slide into the dollar. This is something I was kind of amazed on last week when we rallied back up above this 123 area. I got stopped out, but it's nice to see this kind of in the mode I thought it was going to be in, which is kind of trailing back into that 99.63 area. I think you can orient some stops this morning above 123, blocking out the long side here and retracing back. So as we look at a couple other picks from the scanner, let's take a look at LUV. All right, so let me get the right time frame up here for you. LUV kind of was, on the scanner list as that maximum pullback, stock in an uptrend, pulling back to support here at 50.90. But it looks like we actually could trade a little bit higher now The daily kind of did that massive move up. It gave you a nice pullback to base some stops around 54.27 on LUV. Let's take a look at the gold situation. Considering that I feel like the dollar is going to continue to slide a little bit here and back and fill, gold, we talked about the targets at around 1,300. We kind of met those already today. We reached a high of 1297 and some change on the June contract, so I'm going to call that satisfied. So just from a whole number standpoint, I think this is going to take a little bit of a break on gold. It's been a great trade from that place where we started trying to pick it up around 1151. $150 an ounce you cannot complain with. I would just kind of sit tight on that one right now. Crude, talked about blocking out the short side on this one and just letting that 53 area be a little bit of a target area. And I don't see any reason to really look at this any other way than trying to buy support at 52.21. There's a decent little gold trade or oil-related trade here at BHI. I picked this up on the scanner too. Had a pretty good reversal last week, but again, we're at support. I think crude's going to kind of hang in there. You met the targets, and you kind of already pulled back into 59.07. I feel like that's going to be something you could pick up on sale. We're going to take a look at copper. This is one I'm kind of interested in again, and I think you guys ought to keep it on your radar screen. I like the reversal action here. I like getting back above 2.577. I think we've got a lot more left in this, and considering that the dollar might slide a little bit, might give that a little bit of a bump. Your initial target's on that 2.65. All right. So let's take a look at one more thing before we have to end the 9 before 9. We're going to take a look at silver really quick. And here we go. So silver, I'm just going to kind of take the temperament of gold right now being at 1,300 and just let you guys think about trading support retracements down into 1815 on silver. I don't think you need to look at that from the short side whatsoever, just kind of taking a break and letting it fall into support again. All right, so scanner, remember, if you got this, take a look at your aggregate profile calculations here. The 60-minute gave us a good heads up to really kind of be on the short side on the short term. But again, we passed on that 2341 support area on the S&Ps last week, thank God. And now we're looking, maybe look at that as a little bit of a selling opportunity on the way back up. Guys, thanks for joining me this morning. We're going to try to do this every single day, 9 before 9, give you a heads up in a real quick manner on some stock picks and some of the usual suspects that we've gone over in the past. And I'm looking forward to it every single day. Hope you have a good day trading, guys. Stay tuned for Larry.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.